Hi guys, it's been a while since I've done one of these. There's been a lot of soul searching, and as you know, this channel is all about my journey, and apologies for the shakiness. I didn't come out intending to do this, but as I'm walking around with Harry, it's just coming to me. A few things I want to say and an explanation of what's going on. So a part of my journey has been about mindful walks, and it's really helped me. Sorry, have a look at that sunset. Just getting out into nature, slowing down and observing. And yeah, I take signs from what I'm looking at for what I need at that moment. But it's really helped just having that mindful walk and giving my brain quiet time to slow down and think what it wants to think without all of the interruptions. I think I slipped very quickly into what I call my defender traits, whereas the videos have all been about trying to deliver something that I think you all need, and that's not why I started it. I think I started doing the videos to find myself, but show and share how I'm finding myself and what that looks like in the long run, hopefully with a positive effect on my well-being and dealing with my autism and ADHD. So I think the realization for me has very much been that I keep going into burnout because I'm constantly trying to give a part of myself that, no, that's not right. I'm trying to give an image of what I think the people around me want, rather than just being me. And I think the message I'm getting at the moment from various talks I've had and weeks I've spent with other people is that being more me is going to be freeing. It's going to sort of help stop the overwhelm, help stop the burnout. So what does that look like? I'm not entirely sure yet. I know I operate through life on a trial and error basis, and that's what this really is. Being more me, something I was talking about last week. I went on a week-long respite course with the British Legion at the Battleback Centre in Lilleshall. And I think being more me is about pausing, looking around. And yeah, by looking around, I don't mind imagining that there's, fae folk and dragons and, like seeing things and shapes in the woods, in the clouds. I guess being more childlike, for the want of a better word, and just being more free to let my imagination run wild. Anybody else see a dinosaur? Just stopping and observing. And while I was sitting thinking about what I want to do going forward, and we'll come on to that in a minute, I co-wrote a little story about a hidden being that would only really show itself if you pause and really look. And it came across as first a shadow moving in a puddle, and then shapes around that puddle on a rock, a mossy rock, changing. And it was just encouraging me to sort of pause, and these things would all come out to my imagination. And I think this has come from, you know, a lifetime of enjoying books like Lord of the Rings, Christopher Paolini's Eragon, Paul Cude's The White Dragon Saga. You're seeing a theme, isn't it? There's a lot of dragons in there. And a childlike hope that, you know, those things that existed or do exist alongside us. I often struggle with the thought that someone like Tolkien made everything in the Lord of the Rings and the series of books up. All the different languages, the places, you know, the fights. It's incredible. And in that is where part of my plan lies for the future of this channel. I want to kind of tack a little bit to being more me. And as you know, I enjoy my walking, my mountaineering. And I want to take that a bit further. Sorry, I had to switch arms, my arm was aching. I love getting old. Yeah, I enjoy sharing my awe and imagination of the places that I go. So I want to kind of do some walks and talk to you about the legends and myths in those areas. I mean, places that spring to mind, you've got Beddgelert in Wales, in Paris, where there's a wonderful story, albeit a sad story, about the Lord and his dog. And around that area you've also got Dinas Emrys, or Emrys, where there's a story about the king of the time and his fort there, but it also links in with a lot of Arthurian stories and Merlin and dragons. So what I'd like to do, and please comment below if it's something that you'd like to see, and see how it changes me when I'm talking about these sort of things, is I'd like to go for walks, tell the myths, and then also produce very cheap maps and PDFs, you know, just so it shows you where the walk took place, so you can go and do it on your own or with family if you wanted to, with the myth and legend written down below it, with key points on the walk of where what occurred, who was there in myth, you know, and just share that childlike enthusiasm that I have for those sorts of stories. And I guess through it, try and encourage us all to just slow down a little bit and do the things that we enjoy without worrying if they're childlike or outside of what is expected of us. Because I think that's a big message that's come through of late, is that most of my burnouts occur when I'm trying to be what I think the people around me need me to be. And I think if I can encourage you all to do the same thing, we might achieve that unwind and thrive each individually, which is what I named the channel for. And I don't mean you all need to go out walking and exploring the myths and legends. You know, it might be that you like going out and learning about the trees, learning about the birds, wildlife, flora and fauna. It might be that you enjoy disappearing into a video game. You know, there's plenty out there that, oh wow, look at that. Look at the reflection in that water. You know, we're each different. We each have our own needs and drivers, and we shouldn't be ashamed of fulfilling those needs and drivers. And for me, I don't know, maybe one day it will build to something bigger, and maybe my brain will let me relax and write some stuff of my own rather than telling myths and legends as they've always been told. Yeah, so let me know below, please, or send me a message if these are things that sound like a good option to you. Now, in all honesty, the idea going forward is that I need to maintain an income, as we all do, and it's part of the problem that I think we all face, is that we work how we think we need to be working to earn the income that we think we need. And yes, I'm going to have to carry on doing that, but I want to maybe consider working part-time in the engineering or drone careers that have brought me this far, but then also in the rest of the time that I'm not working, just explore these myths and legends and produce the videos. And yes, I hope that Facebook, YouTube can provide some income, and I'm hoping to start a Ko-fi account through which I can kind of list the PDFs and maps and sell them for a minimum cost that you guys can then purchase if you want to, or as it's Ko-fi, you can support the channel, helping me with the costs to get to these places and make the videos, and yes, have a nice warm coffee when I get there on the colder days. But yeah, that's the plan. Sorry, as I said, yeah, that's the plan. I know I've been offline for a couple of months now, and as I say, there's been lots of different talks, weeks away gone into that. In that time, I've been continuing with my somatic coaching with Rachel. Shout out to Rachel. I've been doing equine therapy, only a few sessions, just to see what I notice in the reactions of the horses, because they don't have all of these boxes to fit in. They are naturally just being themselves, and just by being with them, they've got a calming atmosphere, and if you spend a bit of time just watching them, you tend to reflect on your own being and your own behaviour. I've also done my drone pilot's license, both A2 CSC and my GVC, hoping that can get me outdoors in nature a bit more rather than working behind a computer all day long. But as I say, there's other bits in that as well, with hoping to go part-time, maybe change the direction of that engineering career a little bit. I spent a week at the Battleback Centre with the Royal British Legion. For any ex-forces out there in the UK who have access to the British Legion, I can highly recommend the Battleback Centre. It's a week of residential, creative activities, I would call it. You know, we were playing wheelchair basketball, archery, we did some indoor climbing, and a few other games. And the emphasis is on us all being in the same place, at the same level. You know, no one's better than anyone else. Remove the worries of everyday life, of meals and, you know, accommodations. You can just get up at organised times, go and meet your cohort, and be unapologetically yourself in an activity. Obviously now we're coming into the festive season. Merry Christmas to you all, or however you choose to celebrate this time of year. I wish you all well. I'm recording this walk today. It's only a little local walk and there's no actual legend that I know of yet. tied to it, but what I want to do is create a mock-up of the PDFs using this route, and I'll probably include that little story about the moss being that I sat and created the other day. And if I can figure out Ko-fi and making these maps and PDFs, what I'll probably do is put this one up either for just donation, whatever you feel you need to spend to see what I'm trying to do, or a penny or something like that. I'll just put it up for that so you can see what I'm trying to produce and see if it hits a spot. And I'd welcome any sort of input on that as well, how to make it a bit more mythological, a bit more fun and playful. But I'll spend a bit of time, obviously busy Christmas shopping and trying to get ready for the weeks ahead, but I'll try and spend a bit of time to get that done, and I'll let you know when it's available. What I'll probably do is release this video at the same time, so it's probably available now, in all honesty, because I'll probably wait until I've figured it all out to post this video. But yeah, please reach out in the comments. After all, it's a I want to have a community of people just being people. No judgment, no, unacceptance of behaviours, I suppose, within limits. Just people being nice to other people who are being themselves. And see if we can't create a bit more peace, well-being and happiness around us. Okay guys, I'm just enjoying the last bits of today. What a beautiful day, look at that. And I'd encourage you all to do something similar. Go and do something that you either know or have an idea that you might enjoy. Something that lets your mind be peaceful if you don't know what you enjoy. But I encourage you, whatever that is, just pause and spend a bit of time looking at what you enjoy. For me, I see shapes, I see mythical creatures, I see little fairy portals in mushroom rings, and I don't want to have to apologise for that anymore. So yeah, go and do something, and please, let me know what it is that makes you feel that way. Okay guys, see you all soon.